He's a pharmacist
they're
now.
famous for.
He's
Yeah.
just,
St. Thomas West, he is.
told me
I
today.
don't know when they
I'm
used to
reading
have that.
pharmacy.
They
Make
sure
sure
They're
Very
in
strawberries,
Extra
huh?
class.
Can you still
Yeah.
drive them out for
He's got money buried in the ground,
He's
don't he?
He's trying to get so big, there's copper wire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's,
I don't think so, but I'll take
he's
it.
hoping for
Yeah,
like
we
that
had
first,
point
so,
out good, yeah.
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Are you hoping for?
Yes and no, because the other option is Michigan Tech,
Oh, yeah.
which is,
Vanderbilt.
yeah, way up there. Well, it's 7 o'clock, folks, when we call a meeting to order. Since you got quiet. A little roll call. We have everyone here?
We're still waiting for the mayor, and hopefully we'll make a couple of appointments in January, in March meeting coming up here.
Yes, because I heard through the grapevine that Helen is no longer.
Yeah.
Brandon left us.
Got a couple vacancies.
We'll be
Or
alright.
one vacancy.
Yeah, one council position, which I think he's gonna have Jana on that, and I'm not sure about the other position yet. We're taking applications, so if you have somebody that's interested, tell them, go online, fill out an application.
What's that on
To fill a seat here.
Okay. Yeah, cause I know Derek just sent
Helen's
the
position.
two that he's got so far to the mayor, so, yeah, it'd have to be pretty quick.
Alright. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion we adopt?
I'll second.
Carlos and Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We've had the minutes for a while. Do I have any comments before we motion to approve?
I think the only comment I saw, Brandon asked about the bio update or something in there.
Yeah, we should have updated everything that she sent about, so.
The bio update?
Like the biographies or something.
Oh,
Like
the
China.
story, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
think
she was talking about her resignation and everything, so we cleaned that up some too.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
See you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Alright. Let's move on to reports. Kevin?
All right, so phase 2 of the soccer complex renovation, which again just includes the parking lot and sidewalks and pavilion, and I think like a stormwater area and stuff like, and some lighting that, you know, on the sidewalks and all that. We've kind of continued to revise things on the T-deck end of things since this is attached to a grant. They've got things that we keep on having to change and everything, but we're not really in too much of a rush because we probably won't be going out for construction and everything until late fall or winter, which we're hoping that'll be just right in line with the soccer season ending, so hopefully we won't mess up their spring season too much. Probably be some adjustments they'll have to make at the first of it, but that's kind of where we're at with that. Tennis courts. there's the, kind of the finished product. The parking lot got complete, back, I don't know, almost a month ago now. And then we installed the nets, which allowed us to have a little soft opening, so people are out there now, well, maybe not now, but, they, pretty much the first day that we had them up, they were out there, so, and then we also, going back to the other page, as you can see, everything's been, seed and strawed, and then they did some sod up in the area around the sidewalk and all the concrete that's close to the,
What's that thing?
what?
That.
Oh, that's the little half-court basketball court.
Oh, okay.
Is it lights on that basketball court?
Yes.
It is.
Mhm.
Are all the lights at that right here on timers?
Yes. And they should go off when the park closes, so 10:30 or 11. Same thing, well, I don't know about the street lights. Are they timed the same way or do they? Yeah. So, we've got some problems with the windscreen. So they kind of cut some little half moons in them to kind of help. And we thought it was doing good, and then for the last few days, we had more damage to it. So we just keep getting these strong winds, and so we're going to double the amount of slits that's in it now is the recommendation from Jason, our engineer, and just see how it does. And then if it keeps up with that problem, we'll probably just take them down. Or what Steven suggested, and I think Jason liked that idea too, was if we just take them down on the, what would that be, the east and west side of the courts. That way at least they're playing north and south, so at least there'd be some screening that way. And then you've got the house and the trees on the west side of it, which that's usually the way that the wind comes anywhere, so it'll be some blockage from that. So worst comes to worst, that's probably what we'll end up doing, but I guess we'll wait and see on that. And we do have a ribbon cutting for the tennis courts next Wednesday at 4 o'clock, so anybody that wants to come out to that, we'd love to have you. On the Greenway Bridge restoration, we got one quote back, and I'm giving time for CSR to kind of review the quote that we got back, just to make sure I'm not missing anything and that it didn't include something that we didn't think of. And so whenever I get that back, I'll give them notice to proceed, but as I put in here, it's probably going to be a little while either way because they want that creek to dry up some more before they get in there, and they want school to be out. Well, they need to block the road, so I mean, school's going to have to be out. So in the meantime, as you can see, we kind of jacked it up and tried to stabilize it a little bit better than it was. I know it looks a little janky, but I mean, if those bags and everything weren't there, then it's just be that concrete right there. That's the whole problem. Is it just sits right there like that, and so anything was better than nothing. You know, sitting up under it.
Thing right here?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's just it's the whole thing.
She's rethinking which route she's
So, yeah. But it should be more stable than it was before we did that, so I'll just say that. Because it was dipping, and I guess it did help with the little bit of dip that it had in it, so, but, yep, that's where we're at with that.
Why not put the bags underneath the pole?
Well, you can't, like, you'd have to build it way up, I guess.
There's not enough dirt or whatever there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, all the weight's supported by this block here, so, I mean.
It doesn't even look like it's touching.
It's like it's
Oh, they are. They're touching.
Oh.
She said it doesn't even look like they're touching, but.
Yes, I ain't going to
Yeah.
that picture.
Yeah, I'm looking at it going, it's empty.
I know, but it is, it's on there, it's just, yeah. That's the whole reason we're doing this. So. Let's see, on the the cemetery software, I put on here we're almost ready to go live to the public, but I don't know if that's true because found a couple other things to look at before I'm comfortable with it, so, we'll reassess that, but either way, sometime soon, we'll go live to the public, and, I think people will really like it once it's done, but just some more things to correct. On the museum, chimney restoration, we got 3 quotes, and Allegiance Chimney Solutions was the one that ultimately was awarded the job, and that job was completed yesterday, and just a reminder, here's how that kind of started. That's what the chimney looked like before, and that's what they've done to it. They put a cap on there, because the reason we did it was because it had all the cracks and everything in it, and it was leaking and all that kind of stuff, so put a little roof thing over top of it, and they did it to both of them. As you can see here, this is the before, and that's what it is now with the 2 capped, so hopefully that'll mitigate those problems. The playground restoration, we're still waiting on the parts for the swing that we have out there. I don't know what the deal is with it. They acted like it was in their queue, but it's not shipping yet. But either way, but we got the surfacing was done last Thursday and Friday. So and there was a lot of spots that had to be filled in. As you can see, there's actually more around the corner there. There's some smaller spots too, but they filled all those in. So hopefully we'll get that swing back and going in the next month or 2, and everything will be a little bit like new out there.
Is it just that the surfacing was worn out?
It was like chunks out. Like
Is that what these are? They tore?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, perfect circles or anything like that, but like, there was huge chunks just out. I don't know if it's just from wear or just kids picking at it.
I think some of it was, water seeping down into the surface and freezing, kind of busting it up too.
We've got the, last time we met, I told you guys that field 5, the fencing project was almost complete, and it got completed, and so there it is. I think it looks really good. I mean, basically the entire perimeter of this field is pretty much brand new, because we put in the new dugouts a couple years ago, and so now the entire fence has been replaced. And it may not look like the best field, but I know that the league, they love playing on that field. I guess just the way it plays, I guess. But so hopefully we'll get to do maybe field 8 in a couple of years, and just completely redo it. That's the very first field on the right when you come in. It's in bad need of repair, and then we'll probably get to field 6 after that. So splash pad maintenance building. We decided to resize that building so that we can avoid covering up the tank. So that'll just allow us, whenever the time comes for us to replace the tank, that we can get in there and do that without having to tear a building down to do it. So, but just to note that we will not open the splash pad this year, just due to the ongoing construction in the area. It's unsafe, and so it'll allow them to get in and start work on that building as soon as the design is done, which should be any day now. So
You were talking upcoming May?
mm-hmm. Yep. The laser grading and top dressing of fields, the dirt is on order. Actually, I think it started coming today, maybe?
We got 2 yesterday.
So we'll likely get that done next week, and I guess it's fields 1 and 3 that we're doing. So, and then the top dressing, we won't do that until June, most likely. So the utility vehicle that we had on our project list, we were able to get that from Coleman Tractor. We got off state contract, and obviously we've already put it in use. So we got a little lucky, I guess, with that, even though we had to pay a little more for this one than we originally expected, because we were trying to get a Kawasaki mule, and then I guess they went out of stock, even though we had one on order. And so we ended up having to probably pay, I don't know, a few thousand more dollars for this, but it's a better vehicle anyway, but it'll last us a while. Cause the other one was, I don't even know how old, over 10 years, I know that.
10 years, 12 years, I'm 12 years.
So, the cemetery fencing, that went out for bid in January. We got 2 quotes back, and All Star Fencing was, the one that won the bid. We're currently just waiting to get that front part of the cemetery surveyed so that we're not encroaching on the, adjacent property. That fencing company just didn't feel real comfortable without having that done before going forward, and that we saved so much money with them, with their bid. It was well under our, projected cost that, I mean, it shouldn't cost us too much to get that done, so. And like I put on here, once it's done, pretty much the entire, cemetery will be fenced in except for where there's some hedges there, Mr. Palmer's, that we're not gonna cut those out. Maybe one day, but, not yet. So, and lastly, the dog park parking lot paving and striping, that's currently under design. Not sure if we'll actually get it done or not. We're gonna try to maybe reduce the size of it and maybe be able to get it done, but, we'll just have to see on that one, but that's all I have.
All right, for our assistant director report, just to recap of adult athletics, men's basketball registration ended up closing a little bit early because we met the cap for our teams before registration deadline, and so we had 9 teams registered and 5 free agents. Our team cap was 8, and if we'd kept registration open, I think we would have hit 12 to 15 teams. We had a lot of interest come in after we closed registration. Why we didn't accept more teams is because our youth volleyball registration was so strong, we could only play men's basketball on 1 night a week. So we can only fit 9 teams in, and that gives us a bye for each week. Adult softball registration is ongoing. It'll close Monday. We currently have 2 teams registered and 5 free agents, and I know I have 1 team registering next week. Their captain's just out of town this weekend.
What field would they play on?
They play on field 6, and we are putting 70-foot bases in, which is regulation for men's softball or adult softball. So that will, I think, the teams that have played in the past will like that adjustment just because it makes it more competitive. It's really easy to get thrown out on 60-foot bases, so 70-foot should help them out. We closed out our season for youth basketball 2 weeks ago on the 23rd. We got a pretty strong turnout for our program evaluation, and it was pretty solid. Of course, the most complaints or feedback we got is the refs were bad, which refs are always bad, but that's neither here nor there. And then we got feedback on our drafting process, which, as you guys know, or you might not know, is we do a complete blind draft for players. So we're trying a player ranking system on this back end where coaches give us the rank, and we'll use them next season to try to keep skill level distributed among the teams and make it more competitive for next season. Girls volleyball registration closed on February 6th, 12th, or 13th. We had 14 teams total, 6 in the younger age group, 8 in the older age group, 122 girls. This is about 40 more girls than we had last spring. So we are going to be practicing Monday through Friday once we get back to open. Practices were going to start March 4th, but that's being pushed back a week due to construction up at the gym. And we tried a different drafting format and did our first Player evaluation. Yeah, we did a player evaluation this spring, which actually turned out pretty well, and had good buy-in with the coaches. We had about 100 of the girls actually show up for player evaluations out of 122, so it was a good.
Will the volleyball team, are they gonna play same place as the men's basketball?
Mhm.
Just kinda off schedule it, I guess?
Yep. So
Well, they're gonna be
volleyball
on,
play.
what, Wednesday night?
Well, men's basketball plays Monday night. Volleyball plays Tuesday through Friday and
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
So the only really open time in the gym is Sundays and Sunday afternoons, for any expansion and programming.
So like men's basketball, if they have a team, they practice like elsewhere, right? And then
So, and if the gym was gonna be open next week, they'd have the opportunity on Sunday afternoon and Monday night to practice.
Okay.
But we don't typically provide all that much time for adult sports to practice before their season starts.
Yeah, I mean, they can come up, you know, during the afternoon and stuff, and, you know, during open play and stuff, and get practice in and stuff typically, so, you know.
We still have Challenger baseball registration open, and I ended up talking to our coach that runs our Challenger team, and she suggested that we leave registration open for 2 weeks, so it's gonna be open till the 16th and not the 6th. I spoke to her like the day after I submitted my report, so it'll actually be open until the 16th. We have 4 registered right now, so hopefully we'll have a stronger turnout. And then our spring event is finalized. We have 10 eggs total. I know everyone is wondering. And if you guys want to look at them, all the designs are different, and that's the final product of what's going to be posted in and around the park. They're either going to be mounted on our buildings, like concession stand, bathrooms, or they're going to be mounted to T-bar posts along the greenway. And then for our social media, we bumped up to 326 followers. Our best performing post was our post with Linda last week or 2 weeks ago. You can see our reach totals on my report. She reached about 3,300 people with 7 shares. Some of our other infographics and registration posts have been anywhere from 1,200 to 3,300. And it all depends on how many shares and engagements we get. So if you like it, it helps us. So keep on liking it. I see everyone when they pop up. I'm like, oh, thanks, guys. So they're doing pretty good. All you see is.
We've been working on a couple of drainage issues we had at the park. The first one here is down by the junior pro field. The swale was already there. It's just over the years it had kind of sediment had filled in and it just wasn't doing what it needed to do. So we redug it and put in some filter fabric and then put the riprap on top of the fabric to maybe help us out with the weeds coming. But I believe we got it fixed now where it'll flow properly through there. The second one was at baseball field number 1. On the third base dugout side, every time it rained, the water would just puddle right where people had to walk into the dugout. So we dug down, added a new drain, and luckily, you can't see it here, but there's an older drain down. We were able to tie into the older drain, so we didn't have to go too awful far with it to make it work. And these big rains we've had the last few weeks, it's perfect. It's not holding water, so Kevin will give me a raise for that one.
So why wasn't it working before? If you tied into the older drain, was the older drain blocked or?
No, when the fields very first got built, right off the get-go, there was a drainage issue on field 1. So we put in a drain in the corner there. I don't know if you remember, Jim.
Oh yeah, I was coaching then, yeah.
The drain's in that corner there at third base. So this drain is going into the third base dugout, and we piped it over and tied it in. Now, there's nothing wrong, like it's all flowing through the same pipe now.
Okay.
Both drains are connected to the same pipe.
It's just this area was just
Yeah, we
bad.
just needed a drain in a different spot.
Where's the outlets even? I mean, even the old drain, I remember we got some where.
It just feeds into the ditch that runs between the Park Road and
Okay.
Field 1 and 2
I
there.
think we had a problem with Field 7, I think for a while there was a lot of drainage out there, but I think you guys cleared that one.
Yeah, I think we've got that one too. But I think the reason why that it originally started puddling on that sidewalk was just over the years, all the dirt and sediment built up, got higher than that sidewalk. But I just felt like a drain would be the best way or I knew it was gonna be gone. And like I say, it's working.
Good.
Cause I guess it was going out on the field too, right?
Yeah, but the main thing was like they were like having to just wade through water to get into that dugout when we got big rains. We got an area at Field 7, where we put a portage on. Field 7 is just too far away from the restroom, so we like to keep a portage on there. And there never was really a flat surface around Field 7, so we dug out and poured our own pad, so now you can feel safe in the porta john.
Won't feel like you're falling over.
Going back to Kevin talking about the new fence at the cemetery, in the back corner, there was an area that just was overgrown, a lot of undergrowth, and we just felt like it would look better if we cleared that out. That way, when people come around the back side of the cemetery, you'll be able to sure enough see the new fence, so. We fixed an issue at the dog park, on the large dog side. It got to where you can see how it's just bare dirt there. This was at the beginning of the project. But when you would come out of the gate into the dog park, it stayed muddy where water was running off of the concrete and the foot traffic. So we dug down, can you go to that one? Yeah, we dug down and put a drain in along the concrete, and then we put up a wood border out of 6x6 posts, and then filled it in with playground mulch, and everybody seems to really like it, where you don't have to come out of that gate right into the mud now. And then lastly, a couple weeks ago, we went on a painting tear there, and if it's metal, it got painted at the park. I'll just say that. We got signposts, signs, picnic tables, and just good stuff we can do there in the winter that we just don't really have time to do in the summer months. Well, that's all I have.
Do I have a motion to approve reports?
Motion approved.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? Move on to action items, monthly report.
So I just had to be selective on the ones that I chose on here because there's so much that isn't going on in February that there really isn't many numbers for, but so on facility usage for the month of February, you can see that, you know, in 2022, we took a big dip from 2019, and as I've said previously, I'm just trying to use 2019 wherever I can just to kind of give a pre and post-COVID look at things. And then from last year to this year, we're up on facility usage, which I think a lot of that is just community rooms, which I forgot to hand out. I don't know if y'all remember that. those are just the hard numbers, and then you can look at them how you want. Museum did a little better this February than last February. Still not quite back where it was pre-COVID in February, but we're not talking about huge number differences. So the senior programming actually was a little bit less this year than last year, which is kind of surprising, but not a huge difference, but I'm not sure why that would have been the case. Everything else, she seems to be doing pretty well, especially the meals. I guess I should mention that this past Wednesday, they had 145 people for the senior meal, which is, I don't think there's ever been that many before, and the caterer told her that he could not take any more, so.
What were they cooking?
No, I don't know what it was. What was it?
What are they having for lunch?
What was it, Linda?
What?
What was the meal?
Grilled pork chops, macaroni and cheese, and like that.
You don't have to be a senior to sign up for it, but I don't think they want any more. I'm not trying to sell it, but, you know. So, it's only $5.50, I think, for the lunch.
Oh, wow.
$6.50.
$6.50.
3 and $3.50. Oh, if you're not a senior.
What is it, $5.50?
$6.50.
Oh, he went up again. I forgot about that.
Sticky's good.
Well, still.
As far as our total program offerings, not a huge difference from year to year, because, I mean, we stay pretty consistent with what we offer, but we are offering a little bit more this time than we were this time last year, so. Just as far as revenue goes, obviously we're way up this year. That's almost all because of men's basketball, or the adult basketball league that we're having. We didn't really have it, I think, either of those years, so that's what's kind of driving that. But it still would probably be more because we had more people than ever in girls volleyball. But yeah, pavilion rental revenue is a little bit down from this time last year. I think that's mainly because we've had to, I don't know if we've refunded them or not, but we've had to tell people that the splash pad is not opening, so that's kind of held that down. Our facility rental revenue is a little bit down from last year and from 2019 as well, but again, we've had churches in there in the auditorium for years, and now we don't have that, so that's a big part of that revenue. So I think that's all I'm going to have for this. And I don't think there was anything else I wanted to mention, other than I don't know if I mentioned this previously or not, but we are keeping up with like the number of ball field rainouts and stuff like that now, and how much field drive we're using, just to kind of show how well the fields are draining and all that kind of stuff. It's a way to measure that, so. But I think that's all I have.
You have a motion to approve the report?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, now to old business.
I'll let you.
All right, Rec Center update, we've been kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern, because, I'm trying to keep that existing gym, which you can see is it's at full capacity with all the events we have going on there with basketball, all sports. So, the new contractor's like, you sure you don't want us taking that building down? I'm like, no, I can't. I mean, I'd like to, but 2 years of agony I'll go through while the new one's being built. And I don't think it's gonna work for us. So they had plans that had electric and gas separated, but water and sewer ran into a problem. And because the line, trying to figure out where they're coming out of the building, it's coming out on the south side of the building. However, we can't tear up that area until we have a parking lot built on the north side of the facility, which was being done by the previous R.G. Anderson. And so R.G. Anderson got delayed, it was all rain, and then they had to come out and have the ground evaluated, and they decided they had to dig out a couple of feet of dirt from a big distance from the parking lot and bring in rock, and we finally came to agreement, and they started that yesterday, or 2 days ago, starting digging the dirt out, getting out there with big rocks, they busting them up. So they're trying to get the parking lot. I was told this should be done in 2 weeks. We'll see if the weather doesn't hurt us too much more. But in the meantime, there's a couple things that the other contractor, Romac, can do, and it's move the generator, which they've disconnected it. That's supposed to be moved, I think, this Friday, tomorrow. We'll see if that gets moved. And then they've shored up the corner of the building where the old locker rooms was. They went down, I think, 160 feet. 60 feet, was it?
Yeah, I think it was 60.
It was deep. They went way down with these pipes, and then they got these jacks that are holding the corner of the building up, because the new building is going to be pretty close to it, and they got to dig all that hillside out. It'll be down 18 feet. So another part of it is by our heating and air conditioning unit. And they said, well, that's going to be in the way. And I said, oh, well. I said, we went 50, 60 years without air conditioning in the building. We just got air conditioning in it, 2014, I think it was. And I said, we had, those of you that were around playing in that gym, we had these blower heaters that were up there. And so I said, well, what else can we do? So they checked into seeing if they could move the unit, lift it up, put it over, extend the ductwork. $40,000. I said, no, it's not happening. We're not doing that.
Wow.
And I said, you guys are going to go back to the drawing board. The architect designed the building to be within like 4 or 5 feet from the heating air conditioning unit, just the one little corner of it. But they got to dig down that far down, and they're afraid that this unit could collapse the ground and fall down in on it, because they have to have like 5 feet of clearance to put the walls in and be able to work on both sides of the wall. When the building is still, to go back to the drawing board, get with your structural engineering people, see if they can shore up the heating and air conditioning unit that's sitting out there. I said, I could see, in my mind, I'm seeing big straps holding it to the bottom, to the old building, anchored down to the building, or maybe they go down deep and shore it up like they did. I said, well, you got to find definitely something that's going to cost us a lot less than $40,000. So they're working on it now. So, and our sewer guys they're doing our sewer movement. They're already started running a new line to feed the gymnasium, so we won't have to. We'll be able to still use the toilets, sinks and that. And then our water line, that's another issue, is White House Utility District, we're doing some testing or something on Carmack, and overpressure, they put a lot of pressure on the line, which blew a line in our women's bathroom, we think under the floor somewhere. So we've got plumbers, and we had multiple plumbers, I think, coming in today to do some evaluation, but we're thinking we're going to reroute all we need is the 2 bathrooms, and we need the drinking fountain would be nice, and the running tubes. It's just stuff they can just attach to the walls and ceilings, and then our sewer guys are going to connect to a backflow preventer by the radio tower and bring the water up to the building that way and connect it. So I'm hoping over the next few weeks we'll have water and sewer, and that building will be completely isolated. We get this heating and air conditioning situation taken care of, and then you'll start seeing more movement on the ground. You'll start seeing dug out. But so I'm tired of reading from Romac they send me daily reports saying can't do anything without the parking lot being done. So that parking lot's done, they can start tearing out the whole backside of that building. So we have to keep the gym. I hope everybody. I hope I'm not on my own on this. And so far I haven't heard anybody saying to me, close the gym other than the contractors.
We might as well just shut our department down if we don't have
to.
What about if you look at alternatives and look at reaching out to schools, Heritage and whatever else, see if we can use their facilities?
Yeah, that's been an issue in the past.
It's been, but if you come to them with what's going on now.
I mean, if it comes to it, we'll try it.
If it comes to it, we will have to, Jim.
Yeah, but the thing is we couldn't do any of our senior programming that they do during the day. They walk during the day, they do their exercise classes, all that kind of stuff in there during the day. That would pretty much, I mean, they can do it down in their senior center some, but it greatly decreases the people that actually come to it. So, I mean, I don't know.
We're gonna have the same issue on the
you're
back.
just gonna be fighting with schools all the time about when we can do our stuff. It would just greatly decrease what we were able to do,
If
for
we keep,
sure.
yeah, if we keep this gym
And
going,
I'd
I
hate
think
to
that's our
decrease
best
what we got.
alternative. I think keeping the gym going is our best alternative, and I think on the back end, I already warned the architect and the contractor, you know, we're hoping that you can get us at least into the gym in the new facility before we tear down the old gym. You know, if I have to shut it down for a month or so in transaction, that's one thing, but we really need to make that transition, because when they tear down the old building, they're gonna have, the parking lot's gonna get extended and some sidewalks and things of that nature, there's gonna be other things, but it's quite a complicated process to do all
It is, but it's March now, right? Schools close in May,
Yeah.
so we're not far off where their facilities will not be widely used. So,
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is to us, and I said this to Jerry, I mean, we're all like that, like, this was designed and bid with all that
all the
being known.
detail, yeah.
You know,
All the details.
that this has to stay up. I mean, they're just gonna have to figure it out. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, unless something happens, we should be able to keep using it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna do the best we can, but I'm not gonna let the cost get way out of hand on it either. I'm not gonna throw $40,000. We'll put some blowers, heat.
No,
Yeah.
agree.
We'll have air conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agree, I'm just thinking alternatives
Yeah, what we
at
could
this
do.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it, it would just greatly decrease what we're able to do. I mean, we'd still be able to do stuff, it's just, we're using it every single night right now. I don't see how we could use the school every single night. I mean, I don't know, I just go back to my experience trying to do that with basketball, and like every single gym telling me no, every single time. Except for the middle school is the only one here recently that's been able to work with us.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, you and I praying to go to the
Yeah.
director
Going
of school to
through
get that done.
yeah. So, I don't know.
Do they tell you no because they can't have anybody to?
I think mostly it's because they just don't want to.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that was the impression I got. Because I mean, we had basketball coaches going over there and using it for extra practices, but then they tell us they don't have any availability. I mean, it was just
We should
very
benefit,
frustrating.
I mean, they benefit from a community that's training young people to do these sports, right, for later on for them when they get to their teams. You'd think they'd be all over it, but,
Yeah.
hasn't been.
And the thing that helps us with the middle school is they actually let us take our employees over there, but
Yeah.
the other places would not let us do that. They made us pay whatever the teacher's salary was, plus the retirement and benefits, all this. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, just to do all that, I mean,
Yeah.
we'd have to raise our fees so much to just try to cover the cost
I
of
think it
it.
was a rental fee too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a $25 an hour rental fee, and the middle school, to my knowledge, there's no rental fee or anything like that.
No, the
So-
middle school doesn't cost,
So they've been great.
provide our own staff and make sure the facility stays clean,
And of course, it helps, I played baseball for the principal over there, so, that helps too, so.
And then Heritage doesn't have a rental fee, but we pay their facility manager for supervision and for custodial duties while she's there.
Yeah, it's just, it's a
But
lot.
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to, we have
It would
to.
just be a matter of raising fees for temporarily until we get to get into that facility, but
Because we
that's the
definitely,
challenge is.
we definitely can't lose our programs, because if we do, it's hard to get them back if you just shut it down for 2 years.
Yeah,
So,
you shut it down, it's hard to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So.
That's all I had to report on the rec center, I'm sorry, folks.
Great subject.
Well, I guess I'll get into, I didn't really have much to update, and I didn't know, I guess we've already talked about Helen, coming off the board, so we've got a, opening there. And obviously our attempt to update the bylaws didn't go through, so I guess we can just keep those the way that they are, because I don't think they would pass anyways.
All right, so our attempt at the bylaws was to say somebody outside city limits.
Is allowed to, doesn't mean that it's required, it's just,
Right.
we could have all 5 from the city, it's just we're allowing for one to be from outside the city.
No, that's it. And there are some other boards that do that.
Why'd they say no?
Yeah, I know the mayor and, Cliff both were, I guess, in agreement that they'd like to get all the boards the same way and have it to where nobody has any out-of-city residents to kind of clean that up, if that's the route that they chose to take at that meeting, so.
My
But yes, there are-
question is this, right? We have a city limit, right?
Right.
And we have a planning limit that's outside the city. Why do we not include that?
Yeah, the urban growth boundary, that's what, I mean, Jana, that's what she stood on that platform, and she stood alone. That's what happened. The first vote, it was, she was able to convince him to move it forward to the second reading, and then the second reading, Cliff had missed the first reading, he was on the second reading. He brought it up, and then, Alderman Matthews agreed with him, and then the mayor, he just decided to go, he said that it didn't matter to him so much, but he decided to go with the other two, one with the majority. And so it was 3-1 vote, we only had 4 members there.
Because to me, I live in the city limits, so
Right.
to me it's not, but the thinking about the growth that we have going on, and we're gonna absorb different parts around us, I think it's a little short-sighted, but.
Yeah, because we're not annexing, and you can see they're building houses left and right in those 5-acre lots along the rural roads, all around us. So there's a lot of people coming in, they're gonna be wanting to play in our sports. I mean, we're allowing them to do that, they're just not gonna have a voice.
They pay the out-of-city fee too, if they're not in the city limits.
Right.
Why are you gonna pay the extra fee? And I guess it says you have to be a resident. What if you own property in the city limits, but you don't live in the city limits? Is that stipulated? That might be mean about 6 months.
City resident, as a resident.
I'll be paying taxes still.
Yeah.
So if you're paying taxes, I guess you're considered
I
a.
know some cities will let you do that, they'll let you vote too if you just own property, but that's
Yeah.
not what their intention was.
Gotcha.
I was a resident of the city.
Yeah, maybe find a replacement for me.
Where are you going?
I'm building a house. I don't know where. It's either gonna be on West Hester, at the corner of West Hester and Shunpike, or it's gonna be on Marlin Road across from the Red Barn, or it's gonna be in Greenbrier. I'm trying to get out of the taxes if I can. And the restrictions.
Yeah.
I'll know in about a month.
Okay, what property you're gonna get?
Yeah.
It's gonna take you a while to build a house, so we'll be with this for a
Exactly.
while.
I'll still have a house here.
Just use their
Oh,
address.
you will?
Yeah, I still have a house. Yeah, I may keep my Marlin Road, or either the Marlin Road or the McCurdy. We'll see.
Okay.
Cross that bridge.
Yeah, that's right, we get there. So they need a new vice chair?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't know if we wanna wait until we have a full board yet, or try to bring it up, but I know that we've lost Helen, who was our vice chair, so I just had it on there in case that was something we wanted to address now, or.
That'll be up to the chair if he wants to decide. I know the mayor, with his vice mayor, he wanted to wait till he had a full board, so he's not gonna do that till March. Well, coming up here next couple of weeks, but that's
Yeah.
up to you.
I would be more inclined to do it when we have a full board for a vote.
Okay. So we'll do that in May. Is there anything else on that topic that we need to, that I'm forgetting?
Let's move on to new business.
So, obviously with our new tennis courts, they're pretty popular already. We've had, I think, a couple people already asked about trying to reserve them and stuff, and we've never reserved tennis courts. Nobody's ever cared to even do that, so, I just wanted to bring it up to see if that's something that we should be doing. Is there a reason why we shouldn't? I'm just putting it out there, and if so, you know, do you want me to just come up with some fees, to do, or whatever, so I'm just.
It's six courts, right?
Right.
Are they numbered?
No, they're not.
Cause I know
We
White House
could. We'll just put
Hospital
the signs
plays,
out there.
White House Hospital plays there, but
Mhm.
I guess in the past, they just show up, right, on the game day.
Yeah, we finally this year, I think Linda or somebody reached out to them, and they gave us the schedule and stuff this year, so we got that. And then there's another school, I think it was Dayspring, that reached out wanting to try to get some times, and we just told them, you know, that we have one high school that's using it, but,
Heritage doesn't have one yet, but I'm sure that's coming.
oh, yeah?
I mean, I think so. I know people have been talking about it.
Okay.
My son's an 8th grader, and they've been going to the tennis court, you know, every other day,
Mhm.
like, playing. And I know there's, people that teach lessons.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't know, like, how that works. If, you know, somebody's on the court, you kick them off, or is there some type of marker we can put, like, okay, White House?
We could put a little schedule out there or something,
Yeah, or
you
something
know,
like that. It's gonna be-
probably.
But we rent all our facilities, right? Pavilions.
Not all of them, what do we not rent out? Well, like our soccer fields, we don't have any rental fees for that. Because basically the soccer program, I mean, they use it from the time it's been able to be used all the way through the end of the season. So there's really not times for people to rent it, even though people have tried in the past. It usually just doesn't work out with just the scheduling, but yeah, we don't rent that out. We don't have a rental fee for the junior pro field. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else we don't have a rental fee for. Can you think of anything else?
Well, we don't do it for disc golf. I mean, that's
Yeah,
our course,
disc golf
right?
course, yeah.
That gets used all the time.
Oh, yeah. And it
You
doesn't
guys-
matter to
do you
me
think
if
you anticipate having like you do with adult softball, adult, you know, basketball?
we had
How
somebody
about-
reach
How about an
out.
adult tennis league? Can you do
We had
that?
somebody reach out about it,
Exactly.
but it's just, you know, and we're open to whatever, but we had somebody that like was offering to kind of help us facilitate something like that, and so, yeah, we're open to that. But I just know it's a very individual sport, so it's like, you know, I guess you can get teams together, but it's just how to facilitate that. I'm not 100% aware of how to, you know, manage that. And that was actually something that we were gonna get our new employee that we're getting
Yeah,
on,
you might have to
you know, do
do that,
something with
but-
that, but yeah, and I met with somebody at, the TRPA conference that, runs leagues and tournaments and stuff, and I think he was in Hendersonville. And I know Hendersonville Parks, they have their own person that does tennis and stuff, so there's a lot of expertise around. It's just figuring out what works best for us.
Yeah, I think, well, like with your baseball, travel team tournaments and stuff like that, you probably could do the same with
Oh, yeah,
them.
I'm sure we
If
can
you-
do tournaments.
If you get somebody who's a coordinator that wants to coordinate, I suppose you could use the same fee structure you do for baseball, couldn't you? Or something similar to that?
Yes, that's probably what I would do for tournaments, but I mean, just some individual that wants to rent it out, you know,
Like rent the whole 6 courts?
or just one court, what if they just wanted to rent one?
When they play games, I wonder how many games that, like, how many courts will they utilize, like, say if White House is playing?
They use them all.
Yeah, so, wow.
Yeah, but I think it was from like 4 to 7, and certain days, so I mean, if somebody wanted to come in on a certain day and do a different time, you know, what would we do? What if somebody wanted to go out, like, to me, I kinda have a problem, I know it goes on, but like, somebody going out there and giving lessons, they really shouldn't be doing that. I mean, they're making money off of our facility, and we're seeing none of it. So that's really not, you're not supposed to do that, so.
You charge them a rental fee, then you're.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, is really that's something that they should be paying us for, if they're gonna be doing it, but we don't even know they're going out there, is the problem. So,
Fresh new courts,
Oh, yeah.
they're coming out.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, people in the surrounding, you know, these are the newest courts, so
mhm,
if they're in tennis, they'll probably be
yeah,
coming
I'm
out.
sure.
Yeah, as far as just individual play residents, you might wanna just sit on this for a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just get started, let's see how it goes, and if it gets to be a little more complicated, then you create a reservation, and then you can only have it for so long, and you have either post it, or you do some kind of online posting that people know that they can go look at.
Right.
For when, you know, what, and then number them, obviously, you know, number
Yeah.
your courts.
Or even if you just section it off where you have, you have time allotted for the schools, you have time allotted for instruction,
Right.
and then there's
Yeah.
free play, whatever it is, but some sort of schedule that separates it.
That's a great idea, that's what we do with our gym. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, we have free play during certain hours, senior walking certain hours, that's a great idea.
Because you want somebody to show up, if I wanna show up on a Sunday and swing the racket
Yeah.
aimlessly, you wanna be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Public park, yeah.
Yeah, we could probably just put a schedule like that out there.
'cause aren't you using a scheduling software, like you see what like pavilions are rented and stuff? That way, if you put them on there with a schedule, even if you're not renting them yet, but when the schools have their designated time, you put it on there. Because you're gonna have a guy that's gonna show up one afternoon, not knowing the school's playing, and he's got a client to go over there and play.
Yep.
And then who's gonna trump who, right? You're gonna be like,
And
I
just
gotta pay
block
this.
it off, that say, the school, it's reserved
certain
here,
ones, yeah.
it's open here, whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, because we've never had to do that in the past.
Well, in baseball, they break their little slip, like, hey, you got, we're here.
Yep.
Like, hey, I got one too.
Well, we'd show up 3 hours before and just
Yes.
use the field.
If you have to get off, you just get off.
Yes.
It's 3 hours.
Yeah.
All right, you got a reserve, no problem,
Yeah.
my man.
Because if there's a conflict, who do they call? I mean, like 8 o'clock at night, if there's a conflict.
Ken.
Yeah.
So it would be good, I think, if you
Yeah.
even if you didn't charge for now,
At least
let people
at least
reserve
the
it.
structure, yeah.
Yeah.
And that way, if somebody reserved it and had that time, even if it's not a fee, and then you start figuring out, do you get a fee? So there's at least no conflict, but you may have to number the courts. Like put a placard on them and say, 1 through 6.
But definitely if they're gonna run tournaments, you need to be charging them.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody's gonna run a tournament out there, we don't want them just taking over our court.
Well, then can we just say
All
here
weekend.
that we just charge the same amount for tennis tournaments as we would for a baseball tournament?
Yep. Keep it consistent, for sure.
I think on some of the tennis games, they'll say neutral site, like to be announced. Like, so White House is playing Greenbrier, they'll leave it at neutral site, and they're like, oh yeah, y'all just come to White House today. So, you know what I mean?
Yep, true.
And that way the coach would know too, what the schedule is.
And then what you may find out, if people know that there's at least a schedule, they can go in there and rent it, say, hey, it's free rental.
Yeah.
We're just doing this so you have it, keep your ticket number or whatever, if somebody asks you, that's what you prove.
Yeah.
Then you may find out what the usage is and go, do we wanna start renting it?
Yeah.
If that's something you
Yeah, that's true.
But at least you keep people honest and there's no fighting if somebody's trying to push somebody else off.
Well, that's why I'm glad we didn't have, pickleball courts with it, because it definitely would have been like this.
I ain't leaving.
Oh, that's coming.
Yeah. But it needs to be separate from tennis, so, because, I mean, they can still play, pickleball on the tennis courts, but we don't want any dedicated
But at least they
pickleball
bring them,
courts.
they gotta bring their own little net and do whatever.
Yeah. All right, the second thing, I just wanted to bring this up, it's not really, I don't really know where to go with it, but I just wanted to bring it up because, we had a little situation, I guess, in the senior center where they were, I guess we found out they were exchanging some money in there and playing
That'll
cards.
rule that out. That's been going on for
Oh, my God.
Who's telling on it? It wasn't told to us.
Yeah.
But then I went and looked at, the Tennessee state law, and I mean, talks about games of chance, and even in our, leisure service code, and I can bring it up if you want me to, but, it talks about no games of chance are allowed. And you go on the Tennessee state law, and I mean, it specifically talks about like bingo. We can't do bingo unless you're a nonprofit or a charitable organization, you can do bingo, but, so we've been doing bingo a certain way for years, like before I was even here, where like everybody buys a prize and they put it in, and you can win that prize or whatever. Well, that's technically, I mean, that's gambling, so I told Billy she's gonna have to stop doing it that way, and we'll just have to buy the prizes ourselves, and then if they win, they can get the prizes, but I just,
If you run it by Valerie,
yeah,
have her look at that.
okay.
Yeah, have her look at that law and then just explain what they're doing, see what, cause cause we're not buying the gifts and they're bringing their own in, they're just basically like a gift exchange. Just check on that. If they were doing money, cash prizes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
if they're.
But it specifically
Football
says in the
cards.
state law about the, bingo not
Yeah.
being legal.
Right, I know, yeah.
So,
Well, just
But I mean-
just have her review it just to make sure, and then, because if there's some other means that they can, if there's a way around it, that they can just have a game of play without it being gambling, then let's.
well, like I said, I mean, right now, we're just gonna buy the prizes ourselves as a department.
Yeah, okay.
And then if they win, they'll just get that prize, and we bought it, they haven't put anything in
Right.
themselves.
And we
So-
thought that Miss Linda was coming for the pork chops.
That's why the numbers are
Yeah. But I just wanted to bring it up, because,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have any ideas for other things that we should be thinking about that,
She'll have,
I have
her assistant, Chance, he'll be the one that'll probably
Yeah.
review this for us.
okay.
You met Chance? Have you met him, Kevin?
No, I don't think
He's
so.
a young guy, White House High School graduate.
What's his name?
Chance.
Last name?
I can't remember his name. I call him Chance.
Chance Chandler.
Chance,
You
Chance.
think he would
Well,
Chance
does give him a chance.
Well, the chances I know probably are not working in a law office, so.
That's the best one, right?
Oh, you talking about Chance and Valerie's office?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I know him, he's
Yeah.
a good kid.
Yeah, he is, yeah, what's his last, you don't know?
Summers.
Summers?
Mhm.
Chance Summers.
I don't know.
He actually graduated from Paul, or John Paul.
Oh, did he?
Oh, okay.
He grew up here in White House.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Well, actually, they live in Copptown.
Oh, outside the city.
Yeah.
Scoot them out.
That's all I've got to talk about on that.
Oh, no. That's it. Do we have anything else? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion with adjourn.
A second?
I'll second it.
All those opposed?
I get another 30 minutes sleep.